Hello and welcome to the platform, a new media forum that focuses on the next generation network solutions marketplace. I'm Neal Axelrad, and I'm the CEO of GCS. And I'll be your host as we explore the challenges that carriers are facing today and what solutions are available to help them meet those challenges. Today I'm happy to have David Walsh. He's the president of StarView. He's a customer of GCS, and he's a good friend of mine. David.
Neal.
Thanks to have you. Nice to have you. Thanks to have you.
Well,
nice to have you. And thanks to have you.
Thanks for having us.
There you go. So appreciate you being here, and just do me a favor. Give me just a little bit of the background, how you guys got started, and kind of where you're going. The 30,000 footer.
30,000 foot. We've a group of executives, group of people that I've been working with over my tenure, which has been going on about 17, 18 years in the telecommunications space. And had another engagement, another company called Global Capacity Group, which we had a successful exit in 2006, and had a non-compete, and really been following the SIP space, the VoIP space, and over about a 10-year period, and a couple years ago, really wanted to gather some of the best people all together to create a next generation SIP provider, next generation application provider, and do it a little bit differently, and do it in a very innovative and creative way, and provide value for our customers.
So what's different about it, right? So I know that you have some traditional wholesale services. You mentioned that you do SIP trunking. I know you have some new products that you're kind of releasing right now. But what's the differentiator? What's different about that than standard a standard service provider?
Well, when we originally got into the business, originally following the business, we really didn't want to come into the market being a me too. And there was a lot of different types of carriers and providers out there that are offering really services based off of price, and we all know that we're in a commodity market, and that's why your product's really been very helpful for us, and seeing that the penny pinching business in the voice space really it creates for more volume of traffic that goes through a network. You have to be more sophisticated and have the ability to really find the proper ways to route traffic.
Okay. So
just like yourself, when we got into the market, we found ourselves trying to find different ways of doing things. And one of the items that some of the service offerings that we were providing were very time sensitive, very fragmented. A lot of choices in terms of OSS and BSS type applications. What kind of switching infrastructure do we utilize? Do we use a commercial grade? Do we use something that's open source?
Sure. I know which direction you guys went. I think you guys made a good choice, obviously with GCS. But
well, for sure on the routing side, and from providing a distributed infrastructure where we could get into the market with relatively low capital expense, and provide a value to customers and enable customers to provide SIP trunking and application type services for them to white label and private label to bring out to their end users.
So let's talk about that more specifically, because that's real interesting to me, honestly. So you're in the enablement business. We're in the enablement business on the network side. You're in the carrier, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're taking SIP trunking and putting together a tool set that helps carriers to enable them to deliver SIP trunking rather than delivering SIP trunking to the end user.
Exactly.
Okay. Great business model. Obviously a higher volume business model. So what are the tools that you put together? How are you helping service providers to to enable them to deliver it?
Sure. Well, we have a couple of different. We have three different distinct business units within StarView. One is the wholesale market, where we're utilizing platforms like yours to provide domestic termination, international termination, origination, and route in a sophisticated manner.
Sure.
we have tier 1 customers and a lot of regional, what we call hybrid type customers that may be a high-end, high-volume user that we utilize, that utilizes our platform for our skill set in terms of being able to terminate traffic at a cost-effective manner.
Sure.
Secondly, we have the enablement white label program where we've leveraged an award-winning product that we've developed, which at IT Expo we won a Best in Development tool award, Best in Development award for a product called Prism.
Prism, okay.
Which is what best way to explain it, and my wife's not very technical, and she actually came up with a term which I like to use in the overall kind of to give an overall view of really what it is like a universal clicker for telecommunications.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you find it though? Because I can never find my clicker.
We got GPS on it.
Okay.
So. We've developed it in to really solve a couple of challenges that we were facing. Was that any off-the-shelf BSS OSS type application that there's such a fragmented market in that space. Whether you build your own or whether you spend a lot of money for something that's going to be able to automate service enablement, put more control in the customer's hands of moves, adds, and changes,
sure.
order activation, activating different kinds of applications. For instance, auto provisioning, SIP trunking, DIDs, E911, different types of features for each product set. Have connectors into different billing companies, different switching platforms, different rating platforms, different aggregators of applications. But also we have the ability to have what we call hooks into different types of switches that may reside on another network, not ours.
Mm-hmm.
And through Prism, you can come and it's essentially like a bridge that enables companies, whether they're facilities-based or they're just wanting to resell, the ability to provision and DIDs and termination and SIP trunks, and the ability to interconnect in different types of platforms and carriers.
That's interesting.
So it's like a universal API that's an automated provisioning system.
So how are you guys? What's the delivery model on that? Are you guys doing it software as a service, cloud-based services? Or are you doing it on the traditional software model and then doing the integration to people's? Now, I would assume that there's a lot of kind of front end provisioning and front end implementation that needs to be done with that.
Well,
as well.
Our thought process was that from a provisioning perspective or service fulfillment perspective and activation perspective, you have to standardize around the input and allow the technology and the infrastructure to map these different types of commands that are needed for an event to take place. Mm-hmm. And with that, right now we're currently using it as an enabler to onboard customers for our network, and giving them the control to order their own DIDs, provision their own SIP trunks, provision their own hosted seats, giving them the control to connect to their own billing system, to their own switch if need be. It's certainly internally we're currently looking at the prospects of whether it really makes sense to create a software as a service model where it's a cloud activation type model where it's effectively pay as you go order fulfillment or service activation model for companies that really don't have the capital expense to take down a large BSS OSS type system, and they really want to get into the entry. There's a lot of fragmented legacy networks that are moving into VoIP networks. Absolutely. And really the focus is getting away from the swivel chair model, where it takes a couple things that happen in that model. Is there's human error and also time equals money, and in terms of narrowing down that provisioning cycle, giving the service provider the ability to look at the total cost of ownership of that particular group that's really provisioning their services. You can repurpose those people to another group, and effectively shorten the time frame from a provisioning cycle, and enable and also enable their customers to go ahead and provision services through that model as well. And we foresee it being a really powerful, maybe even a game changer in terms of how we've created it.
It sounds like you're right at the center of the universe.
And it's there's a lot of hype right now around cloud telephony and everything, and I think that we're still at the beginning of the real true value of application activation, service fulfillment activation, and it really is something that we've built it from the foundation, the core foundation. Now all the features and some of the connectors that we have in place aren't there yet today.
Sure.
It will take some time to create the connectors and the hooks into the different types of carriers or even soft switch APIs or
Devil's in the details.
Devil's in the details. But our plans are to open it up to more of an open community to give them the ability to get on the network.
GCS wants to jump into that community because it sounds like you guys are really doing a tremendous amount of work. I'll tell you what I would love to do is there's a lot of detail here. I'd love to have you back at some point, and we can do a deep dive, on the Prism platform, because I think there's a lot there. It sounds like a really interesting opportunity. It sounds like you guys have really put a tremendous amount of mind share and obviously work into it. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for this segment, but let's come back and do it again.
Well, Neal, thank you very much. Thank you. GCS is a great partner, and we appreciate all the help you guys have given us.
Thank you.